Hello, I am Rajendra Shinde, Associate Professor from Arts, Science and Commerce College, Ozarmig. Yeah, we are going to study one poem from Compulsory English, La Belle Dame Sans Merci. It is composed by John Keats, a romantic poet. La Belle Dame Sans Merci. This title is in French language. That's why it sounds strange and different. But its meaning is the beautiful lady or maiden without mercy or kindness. La stands for the, belle means in English beautiful, dame in English damsel or maiden or lady, sans means without, mercy means kindness or mercy, MERCY. Here spelling is MERCI. In this way, the title is clear. La Belle Dame Sans Merci means the beautiful lady or maiden without any mercy or kindness. It is composed by John Keats, a romantic poet. Now about the poet. John Keats was born in 1795 and died in 1821. He is renowned romantic poet. There are other romantic poets like William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, John Keats, Lord Byron. John Keats is very dominant figure in the romantic era, romantic literature. He abandoned his medical profession. He was doing apprenticeship, but he abandoned means he left his medical profession to become a poet of beauty. He started to write poetry. His imagery is very colorful and sensuous, and his word paintings are remarkable. When we read his poems, the painting is before our eyes. Means his poetry is just like a painting, and his words are like painting, and they are remarkable for his sensuous imagery. When we read his poetry, the picture stands before our eyes with the help of imagination. He was influenced by poets like Spenser, Edmund Spenser, William Shakespeare, who was also a dramatist, he was sonnet writer, then John Milton, English poets. Keats' poetry blends the romantic with the philosophical elements. Though there are romantic elements just like imagery, beauty, nature, love, aesthetic pleasure, sensuous imagery, all these elements blend with philosophical elements. He gives the philosophy of life through this picture or his poetry or word paintings. Keats' poems were criticized by critics during lifetime. When he was living, uh, all critics criticized his poetry throughout his lifetime. But after his death, Keats' death, he became very popular, famous as a romantic poet. But in his lifetime, he was criticized by critics. But his reputation as a poet grew steadily after his death with the increasing popularity of Romanticism. He is now seen as a key figure of the Romantic movement in English literature. His works have greatly influenced later writers, and his letters and poems are still very popular today and studied in detail by students of literature. Keats is well known for his famous odes such as Ode on a Grecian Urn, Ode to a Nightingale, Ode to Autumn, and his longer poems such as Lamia and the Eve of St. Agnes. He wrote and developed ode form of poetry in English. Ode had its origin in Greek literature. Pindar wrote first this form of poetry, ode, and then Keats developed this form of poetry, ode, in English literature, in English poetry. And ode is a poem which is addressed to something or somebody. And here he became very famous during his period as a poet of ode. Now about this poem, La Belle Dame Sans Merci. I have already told you that it is a French song in the beginning, and he composed this poem in English. La Belle Dame Sans Merci was written in 1918. It was based on French song and is written in the form of a ballad. Despite the simplicity of its surface narrative, the poem is open to many interpretations. There is a lot of mystery in the portrayal of the story. The knight means the warrior who is found on top of the hillside has a story to tell. The story is how he was trapped by a wicked maiden, Miss La Belle Dame Sans Merci, who took him to her arbor, Miss Garden. Then she took him to the cave and lulled him to sleep. Lulled means lulling means lullaby. From lullaby, this noun lulled verb is there. Lullaby means a song sung to make a baby sleep. Mother particularly sings this lullaby for her baby to make it sleep. Here this kindless lady, merciless lady, lulled him to sleep. She sang a song to make the night sleep. She is aptly called La Belle Dame Sans Merci. Miss La means the, Belle means beautiful, Dame means maiden, Sans means without, Mercy M-E-R-C-I means mercy M-E-R-C-Y. This is present spelling in English. Or mercy or kindness. Sans means without, without mercy means without kindness, means kindless, merciless lady. She is merciless, kindless maiden. As she seems to be one without mercy. The title is apt. She is called aptly La Belle Dame Sans Merci. And when he wakes up from his sleep, he finds himself all alone on the hillside. That is why he is found alone and palely loitering. Loitering means wandering, walking aimlessly in search of that lady. There is a lot left to the reader's imagination to piece together, but the overall impression is that the maiden without mercy had influenced the knight in some way, either before or during his slumber or sleep. The poem is said to be a record of Keats' experience of love. It conveys a note of betrayal. The loss of freedom that goes along with love is clearly hinted at. Now here, La Belle Dame Sans Merci is a ballad. Ballad means a narrative poem which narrates the history, which narrates the heroism of particular person, brave person. But here it is about the knight and his love, or imaginary love, you can say. His dream. Dream is also a romantic element, as well as the story is also romantic. Why? Because it is a love song, it is a love poem, it is a ballad, it is imaginary. Many imagery is used, or nature is used. Nature, minute description of nature, love, imagination, miraculous elements, you can say magic. All these are elements of romantic poetry. They are reflected in kids this poem. In this way, this is a ballad. Ballad is a narrative poem. It narrates the story of love of the knight, and the lady may be in real or she may be imaginary. And here the poem does not conclude with ferment. It uh, leaves the readers in many various interpretations. Readers can interpret in many ways or several ways after reading this poem. Confused readers can interpret in different ways. Now, this is the actual poem. La Belle Dame Sans Mercy, composed by John Keats, a romantic poet. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, alone and palely loitering? The sage has withered from the lake, and no birds sing. This is the first four lines, one stanza. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms? Knight at arms means, knight means here the warrior. It was the position in the kingdom, the post in the kingdom. Knight was particularly a brave person, or a warrior or a soldier, man of the soldier, leader of the soldier, of the troop. And knight at arms means knight with, you can say sword. Arms means sword or weapons. Knight at arms means knight with weapon or swords. Oh, what can ail? Ail means sad. Why are you so sad, knight at arms? The question is asked by one traveler to the knight. Now there are two persons, one is speaker and one is listener. And here, when knight is wandering in the beginning, one traveler or person meets him and asks him why he is wandering there, loitering there, pale or in sad mood. Then the narrator becomes the knight. Knight tells his sad story in the remaining part of the ballad or the song or the poem. Now here in the beginning, first stanza is the question asked by the traveler or another person to the knight, to whom he meets by the hillside. Oh, what can ail thee? What is torturing you? Why are you so sad? Ail, its meaning is given here in the bracket, and the lines are underscored, underlined, or words are underlined, and on the next side or right side of the slide, the meanings of the underlined words or phrases given in the bracket. Oh, what can ail? Ail means make sad or painful. What is making you sad or painful? Knight at arms. Thee. They means you. Thee. It's old English. THEE means YOUU. Ail means sad or painful. Why are you so painful, sad? Knight at arms. Alone and palely loitering. Palely loitering. He is pale, faint, white, and painful. Pale suggests, this color suggests white color or painful. Palely loitering means painfully wandering. Why are you loitering alone? He is lonely, wandering in search of that lady who deceived him. And in the beginning, he is loitering because he tells the reason why he is loitering. Later on, loitering means wandering, means walking aimlessly. The sage has withered from the lake and no birds sing. Though there is no natural greenery is there, no beauty at present there on the hillside, no greenery is there, no birds are singing, it is not spring season, it is summer, and The grass is withered. Now sage has withered. Sage has withered means in bracket the meaning is given. Grass like plants are dried. Means sage has withered means the plants in the lake are now dried. They are not green now. And birds are not singing. Here is the two lines of this stanza. Third and fourth describe the nature, romantic element, beauty of nature. But here the birds are not singing. There is no beauty, no flowers, no greenery, no plants which are withered. Birds are not singing in the nature. Why are you wandering here beside the hillside? He asks this question. Though he is not enjoying nature, then what he is doing there? What are you doing here? Knight at arms. This question is asked by the traveler or a person to whom he meets. Again, the same traveler is asking the question to him in second stanza. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms? Now, first line of first stanza is repeated even in the second stanza. What is making you sad? Why are you so painful? Knight at arms means warrior. Knight at arms means warrior who is armed, armed warrior. So haggard and so begone. Why are you haggard means tired. So haggard means very tired. So oh begone means very sad. Very tired and very sad. The squirrel's granary is full and the harvest is done. Now here again first two lines are about the knight at arms and second two lines are about the nature, description of nature. Means here the sadness of the night is described in first two lines and latter two lines describe the nature. Here the squirrel is very small animal, you have observed it, and its granary is full. Granary means stock of grain, food is full now because rain season may be arriving, it may be summer, and squirrel has already stored her its food and the harvest is done. Now there is no greenery or any kind of crops in the field. Harvest is already done means crops are cut, grain is not there, and there is dryness everywhere. And what are you doing here? If there is no beauty of nature, you are not enjoying or observing the beauty of nature, not there is not available any natural greenery or birds song or squirrel to observe or crops to observe, beauty of crops to observe, nothing is there. Harvest is already done. Cutting of the crops is already done. And then why are you loitering so palely or hopefully or so sad? Here the hillside, it is asked by the passage. You can say traveler or another passerby. I see a lily on thy brow. Now lily is a flower. Here it is used as a symbol. Lily means it is a white colored flower, but it also symbolizes pale flower, symbol of death. Now on thy brow, brow means forehead, forehead, for or front part of the head, above the eyebrows, okay, below the head hair, you can say hair on the head and before the eyebrows there is this part is called, you can say brow. Thy brow means temple, it is also called temple. I see a lily on the eyebrow, on your forehead. It is also called forehead. There is a kind of lily, paleness of the lily. Why your face is so pale? Its a simple meaning is why your face is so pale or it is so faint. Means why are you full of sorrow? With anguish moist and fever dew. Anguish means pain, agony. There is a fever, and when there is a high temperature, there is a few dew, you can say, a drop of sweat on the forehead. That's why here, with such a kind of pain, agony, you have fever dew. And on thy cheeks a fading rose. Now your cheeks are also faint. There is no beauty on your cheeks. They are not fresh. Means your cheeks are just like fading rose. Means again the symbol of death is present and sadness is there already. Fast withered too. It dries too. Means here two flowers are used as a symbol. One is lily, which is pale, which symbolizes death, paleness on the face, anguish. Then fading rose. Rose is not fresh, it is faded, means it is dried, or it is dead rose, means fainting rose. Beauty is vanished of the rose. Rose is not quite beautiful now, and your cheeks are the same. Fast withered too. Your cheeks are also not beautiful. Here again, uh, the passersby or the traveler is asking this question in three stanzas. Now, in the remaining stanzas, the knight is the speaker and the another traveler is the listener. Now, the storyteller is the knight who has the story to tell to this passerby or traveler. I met a lady in the maids. Now he starts to narrate his story, why he is wandering, why he is loitering, palely loitering on the hillside. He met one lady or maiden in the maids. Maids means meadows. Meadows means the field or the open field at the foothill, particularly where cultivation is not done and there is a grass grown particularly for the cattle, for the cows and buffaloes and horses and sheep. Maids means meadows. Full beautiful a fairy child. To whom he met a beautiful lady. She was just like a fairy child. Fairy means imaginary, you can say magical figure, you can say fairy, fair, beautiful lady. According to him, she was just like a fairy child. Okay, actually, whether fairy is in existence or not, we can't say. But he imagines, imaginary. Imagery is used here again. Sensuous imagery is used. Full beautiful. She was thoroughly beautiful and she was just like a fairy child, innocent. Her hair was long. Now he is giving her physical description. Her hair was so long. Her foot was light, means her footsteps was so light that her footsteps did not make any kind of sound. She walked very lightly without making any sound of her footsteps. And her eyes were wild. Wild means just like wild animals, like the undomesticated animal means the animals like lion, king, wandering in the jungle or forest. And she is also the lady wandering in the forest, lonely at the hillside, though she was beautiful. And her eyes were such a kind of, there is wildness in her eyes, and that's why her eyes here symbolizes the kindlessness or mercilessness, means she has no mercy, or she has no kindness. Her eyes expresses this ruthlessness. I made a garland for her head. Now the knight or the warrior here wove or prepared the garland for her head, for her hair, and bracelets too around her wrists. He made bracelets from the flowers he found around there. Now he made one garland and bracelets for her, and fragrant zone as well as sweet smelling from the sweet smelling zone. There may be some flowery plants still in existence, and that's why here he prepared such a kind of garland, bracelets for her from the natural flowers he might have been found nearby, though it was not season or it was not rainy season, it was winter, it was not spring season, but he might have found wild flowers in the jungle, and he prepared such a kind of bracelets and garland for her head. She looked at me as she did love and made sweet moan. Moan means low, painful, or pleasant cry. She gave a short, sweet cry. Sweet, here it is not painful moan or short cry, but it is a sweet moan. She made sweet moan when she looked at him, and when she saw the knight or saw him, she fell in his love. According to him, she was in his love. Love at first sight means here we see that it is a love poem. I set her on my pacing steed. Steed means male horse. Now he put her on his horse, and nothing else saw all day long. And he saw nobody, nothing except this lady, this maiden. He rode throughout the day on his horse behind his, and he made her to sit. For sidelong would she bend and sing a fairy song. Now she is compared with fairy child, and that's why she sings a song of fairy. Because fairy's language is unknown, that's why he could not understand here her language, but it was a strange language for him. And she bent on one side and she sang a song, fairy's song, by sitting behind him on the horse. She found me roots of relish sweet. She found some sweet roots for him as a food and made him to eat. And honey wild she brought him to drink honey, which is wild. Means from jungle she obtained some wild honey, and Manadu miraculously produced food she provided to him. She provided him Manadu, honey, roots of sweet relish, roots you can say, sweet roots of enjoyment she gave him as a food. And sure in language strange she said, I love thee too. Is here. I love thee too. Thee means you. I love you too, she says. But here this I love thee too is false thing, because she deceives him. Later on we come to know. And sure in language strange, her language is strange because it is a language of fairy. It is not here known to him. She spoke in different language which he could not understand. But surely he was sure that what she might have said, she might have said, I love you too. She took me to her elfin grot. Then elfin grot means fairy. Elfin means fairy or spirit living in a cave. Now here she took him to her cave. Grot means cave, natural cave in the jungle, mount side. It is a hillside. That's why there is a cave in the hill. And she took him in the hillside and in her grave or cave, sorry, in her cave. And there she wept and sighed full score. Sore, full sore. Sore means very painful. Full sore means painful. She wept and she sighed very painfully. And there I shut her wild eyes with kisses for. Now when she started to weep, she here kissed her tears, her wild eyes. He kissed her wild eyes. Now here wild word is used. That's why the lady is also wild. She is strange. She is merciless. She is kindless. And he kissed her 4 times on her eyes. Why 4 times we don't know. Here miraculous things are there, strange things are there, mysterious things are there, elephant growth mystery is there, as well as dialogues are used in this uh, ballad. It is the element of ballad using dialogue. Here I love the like this. Why are you loitering here, Pelli? Such a kind of dialogues are used. The poem is a narrative. Dialogues are used. Thus, it is a ballad. It is a romantic poem. By using romantic element, Keats has enriched this poetry. Or he has used figures of speech. And there she lulled me asleep. Lulled means she sang a song, lullaby, to make him sleep, to make the night sleep. And there I dreamed. Now, when he slept in his sleep, he dreamed. He had a dream. I dreamed means I had a dream. Ah, oh, betide, how it was. It was painful. It was not sweet dream, it was bad dream. What was it? See, the latest dream I ever dreamed on the cold hillside means there is cold, you can say. Hillside is, and he is on this cold hillside, lonely, wandering. And what he saw? Strange, very horrible dream he saw. What he saw, see. I saw pale kings, princess too. Prince means a plural of prince. Pale warriors, death pale were they all. They cried, La belle dame sans mercy hath thee in thrall. See here what he saw in his dream, he is narrating. He saw in his dream pale kings. Pale means unhappy, sad, sorrowful kings. Prince, plural of prince is princess. Prince, to whom he saw in his dream, kings, princes, pale warriors. Deathful were they all. All were very sad, pale, just like a lily of faint, faded rose. Means there was also, you can say, sad faces, or their faces were very sad, woeful faces. There was paleness on their faces. They cried, but they gave warning. To whom? They warned. They gave warning. They shouted, La belle dame sans mercy hath thee in thrall. Means she has enslaved, deceived you. They means you. Hath means has. Enthrall means deceived. Enslaved. Enthrall means the beautiful maiden without mercy has made you slave. She deceived you just like themselves. Means she has already deceived enslaved. Kings, princes, warriors, many warriors, several kings, princes, warriors, they had experience and they might be dead, and they are giving warning in his dream to him, to the night. I saw their starved lips in the gloom. Now, in the darkness, gloom is twilight, not clear. In his dream, sees the twilight. It is, twilight may be in the dawn, before the morning, and in the evening, means before the night. Before the daybreak, it is twilight, and before the night, there is a twilight, means faint light of the sun. I saw their starved lips. Starved means their lips are starved for love, for her love, but it is incomplete. She deceived them. They were starved, means they were deceived. With horrid warnings gaped wide, with their they cried, they shouted with wide open mouth and gave him warning. And I awoke and found me here, oh, the cold hillside. And I woke up from my sleep after seeing such a kind of horrible dream of that merciless lady who deceived many people before him. She also deceived kings, princes, warriors, several warriors. They are died and they are giving warning to him with their wide open mouth. And now, when I woke up, since then I am here wandering and you met me. This is the answer given to the passenger or passerby or the traveler to whom the night meets. And this is why I sojourn here. And this is why I am wandering here. He says sojourn means wander. Means here he is explaining, giving the explanation or answer to the question asked by the traveler. Alone and palely loitering, since then, after seeing such kind of horrible dream and meeting that lady, here he is lonely. And alone means lonely, and pale means sadly, loitering means wandering. Though the sage is withered from the lake and no birds sing, though there is no beauty of nature to observe, no birds song is there, there is no greenery in the lake, no green plant grown in the lake. Here I am still wandering here in search of that merciless lady. In this way, this is the ballad, and here I conclude that this ballad is a romantic poem. It is a ballad taken from French song. It narrates the love song, love story, deceptive story, and the end is not clear whether actually the maiden met him or not, whether that merciless lady met him or not, or whether he saw all in his dream, we don't know. Means John Keats leaves here the readers to interpret in many ways. Means the knight might have been met the lady or might not be, because fairies are not in existence, we know it. Another meaning, he might have seen such a kind of dream, horrible dream of meeting that lady, and again the knights, prince, warriors giving him warning, and this is left by John Keats up to the reader's interpretation. Thank you very much.